allows. Joining me now, Republican Congressman Tony Gonzales of Texas. His district includes more than 800 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border, and he has spent a lot of time at various border hotspots in the state. Congressman Gonzales, thanks for coming on. So first off, let's talk with what you have seen. After a recent visit to an El Paso facility, you said we should focus on legal immigration because seeing what these children have to go through is heartbreaking, but there hasn't been enough bipartisan support in Congress to pass legislation. You're a Republican. What would it take?
It's extremely frustrating that this isn't a more bipartisan effort. I have 6 children. When I visited that facility to see these children of various different ages, from very young infants to teenagers, it's heartbreaking, and it's not fair to them. It's not fair to the Border Patrol agents that are working around the clock. It's not fair to the Texans that see it every day, that don't feel safe in their homes. What would it take? It takes Congress leading. Look, we can't always determine and lead by executive order.
And how do you make that happen?
Yeah, it starts by coming together and having the conversation, basically going, what happens when a person leaves their home in Honduras and makes their trek to America? The good parts, the bad, all of it, and then understand it. Right now, there's 2 trains of thought. Either you're for Border Patrol and against immigration, or you're for immigration and against Border Patrol. That's the wrong answer. We need to have both for a secure border as well as being compassionate and have a robust immigration system that I think helps with that.
But what specifically do you think there could be enacted that would garner bipartisan support? I mean, I think everyone can agree it's a humanitarian crisis to see these young children that you just described making this dangerous trek and in these border-like facilities. I mean, no matter who's to blame, or, you know, there's a lot of blame game going on, sure, finger pointing. This is awful. I mean, and you don't even have to have kids to know how awful it is. Why isn't Congress doing more? Why aren't they coming together to do more to figure this out?
Yeah, so if children are, you know, legitimately making the trek from these dangerous areas, which many of them are, right, and if they're legitimately seeking asylum, why do we have to wait till they reach America? Why can't we focus on Mexico and some of these areas? That way they don't have to make that dangerous trek. That's one answer to it. Another part is work visas. Let's increase the amount of work visas. If people want to come to live the American dream and work hard, well, let's welcome them through the front door. We absolutely need to know who's coming into our country, but we need to do it through increased work visas. Right now, what you're seeing is a very partisan effort. You know, the Citizens Act that the administration is going to put forward, it is dead on arrival. The bills that were passed in the House, dead on arrival. No one is willing to work with each other. That starts there, but we also got to talk about border security. Families have to feel safe in their own homes. You know, I was in Eagle Pass, and there's a member there that he's a small business owner, and he got a call. He's at work. He got a call from his 2 teenage children that there were some migrants that were not banging on the door. They were terrified, right? They called 911, took 45 minutes for the police to arrive. Nothing ended up happening, but people feel unsafe. It's wrong all across the board.
I want to get your reaction to what we heard from Democratic Congressman Pete Aguilar, who I spoke with earlier in the show. Listen to what he had to say about the current situation at the border.
It's hard to look past what they did for 4 years to create this issue. Clearly, President Biden and the Biden-Harris administration is looking to remedy this, as they should, and they are putting leadership into it. They did visit this same facility that they were at. Members of the administration, high-level members, visited the Carrizo Springs location that I was in yesterday with Congressman Castro and my colleagues, and so they are taking this serious. But it's going to take time, is what we would say, because the Trump administration tried to dismantle so many aspects of our immigration system. They tried to wreck it at every possible step, from the asylum process to the Homeland Security process, and everything in between. You know, they tried to damage it, including removing funding from Northern Triangle countries, which is the root cause of this migration.
So what do you say in response to that?
So I was the first member to visit the facility in Carrizo Springs. I visited 3 days after it opened up, and I urged the administration to go out and visit. I was excited when they did. We recently visited the facility out in El Paso, and I was excited that a week later that the administration did. There's a new facility out in Pecos. I'll go out there and visit it. Visiting it is part of is step one. I'm excited that Vice President is going to be leading this effort. It shows the importance that it's going to take in order for us to solve this. But this isn't a new issue. This isn't a new topic. Every president has had to deal with this. And what I'd like to see is this administration work closer with those that see it every day. I'm on the border every day. Henry Cuellar is on the border every day. Work with us to come up with a solution. Building more and more facilities is the wrong answer. We're about to open up 2 more facilities here in San Antonio, one at the Freeman Coliseum, another one at the base at Lackland. There's going to be another facility out in Fort Bliss, in El Paso. I mean, what I'm hearing from Border Patrol agents on the ground is this: things are only going to get worse. April is going to be worse than March, and May is going to be worse than April. We have to act now. We're out of time. We have to start acting now. And the administration needs to work with others, not just have a one-way approach.
So what about Governor Abbott of Texas, your state? Do you think he should accept money from the federal government to help with some of these efforts and to help with COVID testing and so forth? As you know, he initially rejected getting that money.
Absolutely. I think the state and the federal government and the local government should all be working together, just like we've worked together through this pandemic. This immigration crisis is no different. And I'll give you an example. You know, when they opened up this facility out in Pecos, I got a call from HHS. And my first call was to the mayor of Pecos, the county judge of Pecos, and the commissioner. And they had no idea that this facility was opening up in their community. That's wrong. We have to have a joint conversation. Right. And a lot of people, they just are concerned. They don't know what's happening. And when you don't know what's happening, you're afraid of that change. If you'd have a conversation, you'd have a lot of communities that are compassionate, that want to help out. But the administration can no longer go it alone. Let's work together and solve
have you
this
reached
issue.
out to the administration very quickly? Have you tried to work with them?
Absolutely. It was the very first thing I did. It was the beginning of January. And honestly, it was very difficult to get anyone on the phone. I was able to reach the Assistant Secretary for Immigration and Border Security in January. And this is what I said. I go, look, I get it. You think I'm a Republican. You think I'm out to get you. I have no interest in that. All I want to do is help y'all work through this problem. I'm on the ground every single day. That was the last time I spoke with anybody.
All right, Congressman Tony Gonzales, thanks for coming on the show and lending your voice to this conversation.
Thank you.